So you think you know love stories? Let me tell you about one for the ages. It's got everything. It's got drama. It's got passion. It's got a whole lot of fur. Meet Mr. Bartholomew Bark. He's a golden retriever. You know the type. Big, goofy, thinks every thrown ball is a marriage proposal. He's a good boy, a very, very good boy. His heart is as golden as his fur. He lives for belly rubs and the sound of the treat jar opening. Life was simple. Life was good. But then, something happened. Something feline. Across the picket fence lived the one and only Miss Penelope Meow. Oh, she was something else. A Siamese cat with eyes the color of the sky. She was elegant. She was graceful. She had that mysterious cat thing down. You know, where they stare at a wall for 20 minutes and you're convinced they're seeing ghosts? That was Penelope. She spent her days napping in sunbeams. She judged everyone and everything from her perch on the windowsill. She thought dogs were loud, slobbery, and frankly, a bit basic, or so she wanted everyone to believe. Their love was forbidden. A classic tale, right? Like Romeo and Juliet, but with more shedding. Society, or at least their little neighborhood, said it couldn't be. Dogs chase cats. Cats hiss at dogs. That's the way it was. That's the way it was supposed to be. But when Bartholomew would see Penelope through the fence, his tail wouldn't just wag. It would do this whole interpretive dance thing. And Penelope, she'd pretend not to notice, but she'd flick her tail just so. It was their secret language, a language of hope, and probably a little bit of please don't sniff my butt. It all started one rainy afternoon. A big storm rolled in, thunder was booming, Bartholomew was hiding under the porch, shaking like a leaf. He was not a brave boy in a storm. Penelope saw him from her window. She could have just watched. She could have taken a nap, but she didn't. She tiptoed out, braving the rain. She sat next to him under the porch. She didn't say a word. She just sat. And in that quiet moment, under the loud sky, they knew. This was more than just a neighborhood acquaintance. This was love, a secret, wonderful, slightly damp love. Their dates were top-secret missions. I mean, more secret than my snack stash on set. It was all about timing and opportunity. Bartholomew would create a distraction. He'd accidentally knock over a garden gnome.
Bartholomew, not again.
And while Dave was busy putting the gnome back together, Bartholomew would sneak a toy over the fence. It wasn't just any toy. It was his favorite squeaky hedgehog. It was a declaration of love. A squeaky, slobbery declaration. Penelope would act like she didn't care, but later, she'd bat it around when no one was looking. Penelope had her own ways of showing affection. She was subtle. She was a cat, after all. She would leave gifts for Bartholomew. A perfectly captured feather. A shiny bottle cap. Once, even a very confused-looking beetle. For a cat, this is like giving someone the keys to your apartment. It's a big deal. Bartholomew would find these treasures and be so happy. He'd parade around the yard with the feather in his mouth. He looked ridiculous, but he was a ridiculous, in-love dog. It was beautiful and a little weird, but mostly beautiful. Their secret meetings were the highlight of their lives. Late at night when the humans were asleep, they'd meet at the fence. Bartholomew would dig a little hole under a loose board. Penelope would squeeze through. They'd sit under the stars. He'd tell her about his day, chasing squirrels, napping, more napping.
And I'd listen, purring softly.
She'd tell him about her day, watching birds, napping, judging the mailman. It was perfect, just two souls, a dog and a cat, sharing their deepest thoughts, and probably complaining about the quality of their kibble. But the close calls were constant. One time, Penelope's owner, Susan, almost caught them.
Penelope, where are you?
Bartholomew had to play it cool. He started barking at a tree, like really going for it. He deserved an Oscar for that performance. Penelope zipped back through the fence just in time. If only she knew. That silly dog was in the middle of a romantic rendezvous. It was high-stakes stuff, more intense than a game of musical chairs. And you know how I feel about musical chairs. So, one day, Bartholomew decided he couldn't live without her. He couldn't live without those sky-blue eyes and that judgmental stare. He was going to propose, but how? He couldn't buy a ring. His paws are too big for online shopping, so he did the next best thing. He found a plastic bottle cap ring from a soda bottle. It was shiny, it was round, It was perfect. He presented it to Penelope one evening. He got down on one knee. Well, he's a dog, so he was kind of already on all fours. But he tried. It was very romantic.
Let me see that ring.
Penelope, being a cat, was not easily impressed. She looked at the ring. She looked at him. She sniffed the ring. Then she batted it with her paw a few times. But then, she looked into his big, hopeful doggy eyes.
Purr.
The loudest purr Bartholomew had ever heard. It was a yes, a definite yes. They were getting married. They decided to have the ceremony right away, the very next day, in the backyard, before anyone or any human could stop them. They were young, they were in love, and they were slightly impulsive. Their wedding party was interesting. The best man was a squirrel named Squeaky, who Bartholomew had a truce with. The maid of honor was a grumpy-looking blue jay Penelope had blackmailed with a piece of bread. The guest list included some neighborhood pigeons and a very old turtle who was the ring bearer, or the bottle cap bearer. The turtle was very slow, very, very slow. The ceremony was going to start at noon, but they told the turtle to start moving at sunrise, just to be safe. It was a real grassroots wedding. The chaos began almost immediately. Squeaky, the best man, got nervous and started chattering loudly from a tree branch. The blue jay maid of honor kept trying to peck the pigeons. And the bottle cap ring? The turtle, bless his heart, got distracted by a juicy dandelion and wandered off course. Bartholomew was in a panic. His bride was waiting. The ring was missing. The guests were fighting. It was a mess. A beautiful, hilarious, furry mess. This was not the smooth, elegant wedding Penelope had imagined, but it was their wedding. Just when it seemed like the wedding was a total disaster, the back door opened. Uh-oh, it was Dave and Susan. They had heard the commotion, the squirrel chattering, the blue jay squawking, the dog whining. They came out to see what was going on, and they saw it. They saw the whole thing. Bartholomew in his little bow tie, Penelope in her makeshift veil made of a lace doily, the whole menagerie of animal guests. They just stood there, silent, jaws on the floor. I bet they were thinking, is this really happening? Yes, it was. For a moment, nobody moved. The animals froze. The humans stared. It was a standoff. Bartholomew looked at Penelope. His tail gave a sad, slow wag. Was this the end? Were they going to be separated forever? But then something amazing happened.
Ha ha ha! Oh my goodness, look at them!
Susan started to laugh. Not a mean laugh, a real belly laugh.
Well, I mean, this is adorable.
Dave looked at her, then back at the scene, and he started laughing too. They thought it was the cutest, most ridiculous thing they had ever seen. The shock turned into pure amusement. They weren't mad, they were delighted. Seeing that the humans were on their side, the wedding was back on. Dave found the turtle, who was still enjoying his dandelion. He retrieved the bottle cap ring. Susan adjusted Penelope's doily veil. They decided to be the official witnesses.
Here comes the bride, do-do-do.
It was completely improvised and totally perfect. Bartholomew barked his vows. Penelope meowed hers. It was a language only they understood, but everyone knew what they were saying. They promised to share their treats, to respect each other's nap times, and to love each other forever. And so, under the summer sun, with their humans laughing and their wild friends as witnesses, Mr. Bark and Miss Meow got married. The blue jay even dropped a flower petal at the end. It was the most beautiful, chaotic, and heartwarming wedding that Backyard had ever seen. It just goes to show you, love is love. It doesn't matter if you have paws or claws, if you bark or if you meow. Love finds a way. And sometimes it's a way that involves a squirrel, a turtle, and a plastic bottle cap. And that's a story worth telling, and definitely worth dancing to.